Welcome to my garden in the snow. So I just finished putting all of my kind of snow proofing equipment out, and I wanted to give you a peek at what I do. So I garden in Colorado. Hi, Mason. Welcome. I'm gardening in Colorado, and spring snowstorms are nothing unusual here at all. In fact, we've had snow like the last day of school at the end of May. So this is the kind of thing that we have to be prepared for all the time. And most of my plants are fine with no protection, and I'm not worried about it. But this part of my garden, this is the cutting garden. And this is where I kind of concentrate all the plants that are going to need protection, that need a little more water, that kind of thing, peonies especially. We've had such a Hi, Stacy, welcome. We've had such a weird winter. For those of you who aren't in Colorado, we have had almost no snow, which has been devastating for everything. It's been super dry and it's been super warm. So, for example, I already have peonies blooming in Colorado in April. That is kind of unheard of normally. And I actually keep a record of when things bloom and when things like what happens. And so we are 5 weeks ahead of where we were last year. And last year we were about a week and a half early. So that tells you a lot. What it tells me is that my soil, especially in these beds where my peonies are, is super warm, and it was warm all winter long, and so that's why they came up so early, and they're really tall. So here's how I am protecting them. And, if you garden with all native plants, you don't have to worry about any of this. But I do have some that are not native. So the first thing I do, and this is kind of the cheapest thing, is anytime I buy a shrub, and ignore those thistles there that need to be pulled, but anytime I buy a shrub, I keep the pots. And I have a nice big stack of them, and they do two things. All of the efforts that I'm doing are here to create a little bubble of warmth, and the warmth from the soil radiates up and keeps the air inside here just a little bit warmer. And as a result, those plants are less likely to freeze. But it also gives structure so that, if we get a couple of inches of snow today, it's not going to squish the plants. And that's true. The boxes. So this peony in here is about this tall. So, like, it's big. In fact, let's see if I can open the top. Yeah, I'll show you. There it is. And it's budded out. And so what I'm trying to do is prevent the buds from freezing. Get this up again. Um, with just a little kind of bubble of warmth around it. Keep the buds from freezing so I don't lose every peony. And also, I worry about peonies and other plants that don't tend to grow new foliage. Like they're a one and done kind of plant, and peonies are like that. So their foliage lasts them through the whole season, right? And if it gets damaged, if it freezes, that can I can worry about the longevity of the plant itself too. So this is also my season extender right here. These are just tent poles. I have a whole blog post on my blog about how to create these season extenders. They are super cheap and easy. So these are just cheap tent poles, and that's a plastic drop cloth, and it's held on with binder clips. And I actually have some bungee cords that I run around the bottom to really cinch it down, but I need two people to do that on these big beds, and nobody else is home right now. So when my husband comes home, he and I will come out and cinch these closed, and they'll be great. Right now, they're just held down by heavy things. Um, and then I have, like I showed you, cardboard boxes too, and buckets. And they just pop over different plants. I put a couple things, I already have salvias, for example, you can see here that are in bloom or blooming. And since it's going to freeze tonight, and I've already seen bumblebees out, I put some of the salvias under boxes and buckets too. Um, just so, hi Megan, welcome. Um, just so that those bees will have something to eat, because I think this will potentially stunt some plants, my apple trees. We're going to lose this. Um, Anything that's bloomed so far, probably it's going to get down into the 20s tonight. So I think we will definitely lose those crops. But that is what Colorado gardening is all about, honestly. I did not expect this to accumulate this quickly, but that's where we are. The ground is really warm, so I don't think it'll stick around. But another thing I use sometimes, these are those pop-up bins, and these they're not particularly waterproof, or they're just to keep the crush of the snow off of those particular plants. I don't think they're going to create any kind of real thermal protection, but they will keep they'll keep the hopefully things from getting squished by snow, because I do worry about that too. Hi, Farmer Sam. Yeah, we we haven't had snow all winter, really, and now here we are. I'm never going to say we don't need no moisture, because we absolutely do. But we've got to protect things a little bit too. So if you have questions, um, drop them in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer them. But this is kind of, I mean, if you live in a place where you get especially late spring snow or really early fall snow, these are some techniques you can use. They're easy to store away. We use these buckets for a million things around. These pots all get stacked up, and I just have one big tall stack of pots that I use. And the plastic wrap just gets rolled up and tucked away until the next time I need it. The boxes also just get flattened and get tucked away somewhere. Shockingly, actually, boxes are remarkably resilient. You can use them over and over again. And if you've got um, other boxes, there are actually some um, I should say flower farmers around here who put their roses, they put boxes around their roses and fill them with leaves every winter to help protect them, which I think is a really clever idea too. I don't do that, but lots of people do. Oh, hello, Todd. I'm so glad to see you too. So, anyway, this is my garden, and these are just some tips if you're in Colorado and you are dealing with the snow and the frost. You could still do this tonight before it freezes. The last forecast I saw didn't have it getting down below freezing until evening. So there's still time to throw some pots over anything that might be especially fragile or delicate or really kind of out of sequence. And that, of course, is the biggest problem with our spring this year, is that we have things. Well, normally, my April garden does not look this green and this lush. But because things have been so warm, unseasonably warm, you can see it is pretty. It's just all grown out and looking good, and things are blooming that, like I said, we're a month, 5 weeks ahead of schedule. And it's snowing. All right, I'm freezing, so I'm going to end this, but thank you so much for joining. And if you aren't a subscriber to Wild Revival Gardening, I encourage you, join us. We have all kinds of fun things. I have an interview on Sunday coming with a native plant specialist with all kinds of tips for those of us who are growing native plants. So this is not an advertisement for Home Depot at all. I'm looking at it. It looks like a Home Depot ad. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks, Sam. Bye.